right, good morning. This is Allison at the National Weather Service. I will be delivering a briefing about the winter storm that we're expecting to impact our area tomorrow into Monday. Since yesterday, we did add some winter storm watches. So let's move on here. So we've got winter storm watches for portions of eastern Virginia, as well as the Maryland Eastern Shore. This is for Sunday into Monday. Expecting snowfall totals between 2 and 5 inches west of the bay, and then on the eastern shore, 6 to 9 inches. We'll talk a little bit more about scenarios here in a moment. And also could see some brief blizzard conditions as well on the eastern shore. There is a moderate to high confidence in heavy wet snow impacting these areas. All right, so this is our latest snow total forecast. So we've got, 8 or 9 inches up in like Dorchester, Salisbury area, and then tapering off pretty quickly down to closer to 4 to 5, maybe 6 inches on the northern neck, and then, tapering pretty quickly as you head southwest. And I mentioned that potential for blizzard conditions, that would be late Sunday night, and would be tighter on the eastern shore, like Ocean City, Chincoteague type area. Also, there's a possibility Sunday night into early Monday morning for snowfall rates of 2+ inches an hour. And then that would also be, in this northeast portion of our area. Confidence in accumulating snow is highest for this area, but we could see some accumulating snow across the rest of our area as well, just on the lower end. So going into some scenarios here, we'll talk about some snowfall probabilities. So this is for 2 inches or greater. You'll notice that there's, a decent chance over a lot of our areas, 45% or more of seeing that 2-inch amount, a lot lower as you get across our south. Stepping up to 4 inches, see that kind of tightens up a little bit across the southern edge and is primarily focused across that northeast. Similar probabilities for 6 inches or more. And then going up all the way to 12, we're even keying in on a chance for 12-inch potential on the Maryland Eastern Shore. So that's something that we will be keeping an eye on today, the trends in the morning models. All right, so in respect to timing, I am going to pull over one of the forecast models here, the HRRR, and just kind of step through evolution of this storm. So let's see, we're starting tonight here, stepping into, let's see, that's a little before sunrise on Sunday. Mostly rain across our area, probably on the lighter end. And then as we get into closer to sunrise and, shortly after sunrise, could see some change over to snow in our northwest. Again, lower rates at this point. Going into the afternoon, could see some change back to rain in the northwest, but staying rain across our eastern areas. And then it's really when we get into Sunday evening, you see we have this low pressure that's going to be coming up the coast, and it's expected to deepen off of our coast and strengthen. And that's when we really see those, that change over to snow, that cold air being ushered in. And that's when we get this is late Sunday night. this is when we get that changeover to snow across a lot of our area. And this is with that strengthening low pressure off the coast. This is also when we would see those 1 to 2 inch plus hour rates would be, let's see, that's about 8 o'clock Sunday. Maybe not the exact time, but thereabouts. 8 o'clock into maybe late Sunday night is when we're expecting those higher snowfall rates as that low pressure deepens. Where those higher rates set up is going to depend on the exact positioning of this low pressure and exactly how strong it gets. But we're looking at somewhere in eastern Virginia or on the Maryland eastern shore for those higher snowfall totals and rates. So an overview of timing here, just when we're expecting that changeover to snow. In our far western counties, that would be Sunday morning. For across central portions of our area, it'd be more like Sunday afternoon. And then it'd be later Sunday night before we see that changeover in the remainder of our area. All right, another hazard that we're looking at is it's going to be pretty windy with that low so close to shore and with it deepening. So definitely expecting along our coast, 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts, and even along the immediate like beaches, and within a few miles of the coast, could even see closer to 45, maybe even a few gusts to 50 miles an hour. And that would be in that Sunday night into early Monday time period. There's also minor threat for coastal flooding, mainly across the Atlantic coast and maybe even in like the Lynn Haven area, Virginia Beach. And that's looking like it's going to be mostly minor end flooding, but maybe even up closer to Ocean City, perhaps touching moderate, but mostly minor tidal flooding. Okay, switching gears to our marine hazards. So we did put up a storm watch for our northern coastal waters and gale watches for the remainder of our area. Looking at high confidence in seeing those wind gusts over 25 knots, and even pretty high confidence in the bay and in the coastal waters of seeing gale conditions. And then for storm conditions, which is that 48 knot, 55 mile an hour threshold, we've got moderate confidence in those northern waters, especially off the Maryland coast. So today and even into tomorrow morning, lower end wind gusts, and then it ramps up pretty quickly once that low pressure gets going offshore. By about between 3 and 6 is when we should really see those gale force to storm force conditions really ramping up and remaining elevated Sunday night into Monday morning, and then ramping down Monday afternoon into Monday night. And as far as seas go, expecting 7 to 10 foot seas over a lot of our across a lot of our marine areas, 10 to 12 feet in the northern waters, and then wave heights in the bay, we're looking at 5 to 7 feet. All right, so just to summarize here, we have increasing confidence in the potential for heavy accumulating snow and breezy and windy conditions, as well as hazardous marine conditions, Sunday into Monday, starting as rain and then changing over to snow at various times across our area, starting off with a heavy wet snow, and then as we get later, as that low pressure starts to pull away Monday morning, turning into more of a fluffier snow. With winter storm watches in effect for eastern Virginia and the eastern shore. And then, of course, there's the potential for some whiteout or brief blizzard conditions on the Maryland eastern shore Sunday night. So I will pause on this slide and I will be happy to take your questions. We will have another live briefing tomorrow morning.